The latest in the Gayest podcast is intended for listening by adult members of the LGBTQIA plus community and their allies. Discussions may contain material not suitable for folks under the age of 18. Listener discretion is advised.
This week, we put the whore in horror, Henny.
And the gay in the Commonwealth Games.
All this and more on the latest.
And the gayest.
And welcome back. I hope you missed us because we certainly missed you, because it is time for another wonderful, thrilling, and informational episode of The Latest and the Gayest with me, one of your hosts, Josh, and my other host right here, who will introduce himself now.
I certainly will do that. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Diane. Such a good point. Just a wonderful day to be here. Me and
Is it a wonderful day? I haven't been outside yet.
I mean, it's like, babe, what's the weather like outside?
Here's Lance with the weather.
You were just outside. How is the weather physically? Okay, there we go. Hot.
So it is
hot.
It is fair
It
enough.
is hot out. But I've got my coffee that doesn't taste like caramel, even though it should.
Ooh, drag them.
And we're here. Yeah.
We're here.
No, we were just talking about this before we started recording, but I have a bone to pick with some of the recent coffees that I've been getting from Dunkin' Donuts.
Ooh.
I think Dunkin' Donuts employees would explode from the inside out if they were to mix the caramel syrup actually in with the coffee. It would hurt them.
They would break out in hives. They would start puking, crying, throwing up, shitting their pants, pissing themselves.
It's not that hard.
And I think too, as someone who worked at a coffee shop, there's ways to even if you're being lazy, you can still be lazy and if you for a while, way back in the day before you even met.
Oh,
back when I was in Pennsylvania, before college, I worked at 2 different
slinging espressos.
Oh yeah, well here's the thing too. You can, if you put in the coffee first, and then the syrup, and then the milk and all that, it'll kind of mix itself.
Okay.
Because if it's sitting at the bottom, it's not being agitated at all. But if it's sitting on top of some coffee and some ice and blah 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 blah, then as you're combining everything, it's gonna kind of mix itself. But also just literally give it a once over swirly, and you're good to go. It's literally that simple.
No, what I do sometimes is when I make coffee at home, I put because I'm gay, so I only drink iced coffee. I knew there was something off about you.
I knew there was something a little fruity about you. Anyways.
No, but so, I pretty much only drink iced coffee, including during the months of winter time.
I saw a wonderful tweet that I just need to share real quick. Sorry to this man, I can't credit him. But it's a tweet that said, "Iced coffee is for pleasure, hot coffee is for business." That's so true.
Ooh.
Hot coffee gets shit done. Iced coffee is just to,
You know what? Actually, you got a point there. I like that.
Thank you. I wrote that tweet. Thank you.
No, that is true though. I feel like when you think of hot coffee, you think of a businessman going to do or a businesswoman, because it's 2020, or a business them.
Well, honestly, I think the ladies and the thems, they're getting the iced coffees anyways.
That's true.
They deserve better. They're not
the lavender. There, I would love to see a non-binary person show up to this big high-power business meeting in their pantsuit, and they've got the full garment on, and then they walk in with a lavender oat milk latte, and
that's gonna be me.
And you're there to discuss the quarterly reports and rip your fellow employees to shreds and be like, you guys aren't doing good enough on your tasks. You need to do better, you bitches. I don't know.
Be like,
But
why
like,
are the sales up? Oh well, sir,
yeah,
don't talk back to me.
and it's them.
I'm gonna be her.
Yeah.
No, but
No,
sorry,
I
yeah,
would love to. I would love to see. I would just love to see like a non-binary, like high-powered business person, just like tearing apart, somebody because, uh-oh, they lost the big account while sipping a lavender oat milk latte.
a lavender oat milk latte through like a metal straw.
Yeah, one of those like collapsible straws that is from like, Save the Turtles.
Save the turtle, and it's also like it's she like they're drinking it out of a mason jar with a hole in the lid.
And
That's what I
but it's like it's one of those because you know how they have those straws that you can like you keep in a little container and it like
see.
hooks onto your keychain. You just take it with you wherever you go. I That would be that.
That would be that, and I would work for that company
Yeah.
and get
I
fired.
I actually used to back when I was working at an old back when I was working at the wine shop that I used to work at, I kept there's a period of time where the town that the shop was in put the mask mandate back in place.
Hmm.
And so, we had to require masks in the store, obviously, and the numbers started to rise a little bit again. And I remember me and one of my other coworkers, we both were double masking.
Hmm.
We do like one of those KN like KN40, KN420, whatever. Um
Unfortunately,
K KN420. Yeah.
2069.
Yeah, exactly those. And then over top that I'd put like a cloth mask,
Hmm.
but because of that, it got really annoying to have to like take off or like, kind of move my mask whenever I wanted to like take a sip from my water bottle or if I had like a beverage with me that day. So I got one of those. I actually bought one of those like reusable metal straws that you keep in the little containers, and I kept it in my bag because I drank a lot of. I mean, I still do, but I would have like Monster energy drinks with me like constantly. And so I put like my little metal straw in the Monster so that way when I wanted to like take a sip, I just like lift up the front of my mask a little bit near like my chin
Take
and
it
then
through.
just take a sip and then bam, and I could still keep my mask on.
You know what this reminds me of? Okay, so like this is a real throwback to the COVID times when it very,
Mm.
very first started. I'm gonna age myself a bit here. I used to listen
Oh.
to the Jenna Julian podcast like religiously,
Uh, do you
and
see she was spotted in public recently?
I saw, and
She
so
looks like
tall.
she's doing so good.
She's on her track to grow those 7 inches, and
She
she
is thriving.
looking thriving. Yeah, she's doing great. And
Oh,
also
yes.
Julian looks great too. He's
Mhm.
on a hair journey, but I still love him so much.
Yeah.
But during the beginning, Jenna like started her break. Uh, and Julian on the podcast did this thing where he was like, okay, like because famously on the Jenna Julian podcast, they have episodes where Julian would like make up fake inventions and pitch them to Jenna, and so he let the audience pitch him some made up inventions,
Idea.
an
Ooh.
idea that I had made up, but I never did it because I think I was gonna go to my friend's house and we were gonna like make a video for it.
Oh.
But I think like her boyfriend ended up breaking up with her or something
Oh,
like
damn.
substantial happened that day where I instead of like doing the thing that I wanted to do, we ended up doing that. But I had this idea of
Yeah.
it was called the hydro mask, and basically what it was like a mask with a hole in it that closed with like a magnet,
Oh.
and so you opened it up, and then you'd like take a sip of your water, and then it would close back up automatically because it's a magnet,
Oh, yeah.
so you could
You
drink your
know,
hydro flask.
honestly, that's pretty good, actually. Don't.
But unfortunately, like I was never able to make it, and now we're at the point in the
Damn.
pandemic where that's not going to make me any money.
I was gonna say, and then I saw so many when 20 it was like late 2020 mid like to late 2021. I
Hmm.
started seeing a lot more ads popping up on like my Instagram feed for mask companies that were being like, look at these amazing masks that we're selling. And, it's like, I know people were trying to, take it. I mean, I guess not necessarily take advantage, but like, you know,
Supply.
yeah,
Sees
because seize the moment, seize carpe COVID.
carpe those DMs, girl.
Carpe that coronavirus. But I think that people were trying to like take advantage of the moment, and then it's not that like
Excuse me.
it's not that like masks aren't so much a thing anymore because I still wear my mask when I go out into whenever I go to the grocery store, ma'am, I put my mask on. For me now, it's I pretty much just wear my mask whenever I'm out in like large
Yeah,
settings
yeah,
in
yeah.
public, like grocery stores, malls, like just big places.
I don't really go out that much, but I still wear my mask on DoorDash. Because that's the thing too. Is like, well, I always get looks on DoorDash. I have my mask on and nobody else does, but it's like I'm
Mm.
interacting with lots of different people in the same
That's the
day,
thing.
and
Yeah.
those people are also interacting with us because like the web is like
Hmm.
you see like the connection, and like I'm not trying to. I got bills to pay, honey.
Oh yes. And speaking of bills to pay, let's take a break. And we're back. And now it is time to reminisce about some of this week's gayest and latest news stories in a little segment that we like to call Queer Quandaries. And let's get into this week's top stories.
Devo.
Now, for all you youngins out there, um, for all you,
As if
for
you're
all
not in
you,
your mid-20s.
yeah, right. I mean, hey, I'm only 22, but I mean,
Oh my god, I'm turning 24.
I'll be 23 in a month. Well, actually, less than a month. Wait,
Yikes.
no, about a month. Yeah, actually, just about a month from the day that we're recording this. Anyway, enough about my birthday.
Mm,
Um, so for all you young and TikTokers out there, you probably already know about
God.
this, but this just bears repeating. Um, Earlier in the week, Republican Florida Representative Matt Gaetz was at a rally of some kind. For what, I do not care, but
Mm,
um, at the rally, he made a dig at 19-year-old political activist Olivia Juliana, saying, and I quote, and this is why, I mean, among a multitude of reasons, this is why nobody likes Matt Gaetz. Why is it that the women with the least likelihood of getting pregnant are the ones most worried about having abortions? Nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thumb. This is from like a political like Florida, representative. So this is a person who's currently in our government.
disappointed but not
Um,
surprised.
Sadly. However,
Excuse me, Jesus.
that did not stop Olivia from being the queen that she is. After the response, Olivia took to Twitter and said that it has come to my attention that Matt Gaetz, alleged pedophile, has said that it's always the odious 5'2", 350-pound women that nobody wants to impregnate who rally for abortion. I'm actually 5'11", 6'4" in heels. I wear them so the small men like you are reminded of your place. Gates
Rag him.
then, but that did not stop Gates, sadly.
Mm.
He retaliated by tweeting a photo of Olivia with a caption that read "Dander raised dot dot dot." After that, Olivia used the response from Matt and she took it. This is what I love about her. And if
Mm-hmm.
you guys don't follow her on TikTok, you seriously should because she's so good. She took advantage of this opportunity of the response and all the backlash that was happening like from Matt and she used the opportunity to raise over $1.5 million for abortion funds purely from the backlash that Matt was like throwing at her. And after the situation, after like all of this had happened, Olivia was quoted in saying, I think it's hilarious that Matt Gaetz underestimated me and didn't think that I would clap back in such a strong way. Matt himself has yet to say anything about the situation, but
Hmm.
I'm honestly not surprised because I, he's Matt Gaetz is, I think, an example of somebody who's all talk and no bite.
Yeah, all bark no bite. He's just a nasty
Mm.
little man. Just
And yeah, but so I just needed to bring that up because this is like I think this is the reason why this. I mean, among a multitude of other reasons, this is why Gen Z is like people are so impressed by the shit that Gen Z does. Because
hmm.
when you remember when Roe v. Wade was overturned, I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but most of the people on TikTok know about this, but there were a bunch of Gen Zs who literally took to the internet and leaked the credit card information and the addresses, like personal home addresses of all of the Supreme Court justices who voted to overturn Roe v. Wade. And they literally like leaked their credit card information and their home addresses online, and people were like there people were
Securing the bag.
fully mm-hmm. They some of those people did unfortunately get arrested. Um, and I think
Fair,
they're
but also
yeah, but it
the
still was
sentiments
like
mixed.
this is why you don't fuck with Gen Z because we don't take any shit. We've decided we're not gonna just keep taking shit from people.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're not doing none of this.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Steve.
In other news, neo-Nazi group NSC 131 or Nationalist Social Club staged a
Oh,
protest outside of the Loring Greeno house where a drag queen story hour was being held, according to Philip Martin and Meg Woolhouse of GBH News. The group held up a banner that said "Pedo scum off our streets." Residents then staged a counter-protest in support of the LGBTQ community within Jamaica Plain. This is the second time this month where there have been neo-fascist demonstrations in the Boston area, the first taking place over the 4th of July weekend. The incident had concluded with the arrest of Chris Hood, the leader of the NSC 131, and is being charged with disturbing the peace. So, big
uh,
yikes, I gotta say.
yeah,
The biggest yikes.
yeah. The this is a trend that I'm noticing recently. A lot of these like neo-Nazi like conservative groups,
Hmm.
they really have just been like this has been such a hot buttoned issue for them.
The drag queen story hour.
Yeah. Like
It's like
they've been so pressed by it. When
I'm not sure. It's like they're upset about the drag. They're upset about literacy. They're just
they don't, yeah, God forbid, kids have fun and, learn to read.
they're jealous that
We,
the children are reading at a higher level
yeah,
than them.
we won't
Anyways,
have any of that in my country.
woke Dr. Seuss. Yeah, people, and also the thing too is that
All those
this is
darn libs reading that Cat in the Hat bullshit.
oh my god, I'm just very noisy today.
Oh God.
Anyways,
Okay. All
I
right.
think too
Well.
is thing too is that it's like it's a continuation of like conflating homosexuality and pedophilia, which is like growing concerns, especially with like the monkeypox and people be like, oh, it's an STD, and if kids get it, that means pedo
Mm,
behavior.
oh
Um,
God.
and then also, what was I gonna say? You hear about this kind of stuff in the South a lot, but this is like the Northeast. This is like
Yeah.
kind of where we're supposed to be, quote unquote, woke and you know
Yeah.
more left.
Yeah.
So just a reminder that this shit's it's spreading like wildfire. It's getting
Oh
pretty
yeah. It's
pretty
intense.
pretty wild on these streets. But also, it's nice
Oh
to see
yes.
that the community was willing to like
Yeah.
stand up and say, "Yo, the fuck all the way off."
Mm-hmm. All right. So recently, UK Olympic diving champion Tom Daley, who is known for being very out and proud about his sexuality, he's been making headlines recently for wearing a sort of rainbow like jumpsuit during the opening ceremony for the British Commonwealth Games during their opening ceremony in Birmingham on this Thursday, the 28th. The Commonwealth Games is kind of like it's a multi-sport competition with athletes that come from many different countries, which is somewhat similar to the Olympics. However, a lot of the countries that compete were formerly British colonies. Um,
Ew.
so I think that's like the main difference between them and the Olympics.
It's the British
Um,
Olympics.
in a sense, yeah. However, the games themselves, they do have a bit of a history for criminalizing the LGBTQ plus community that occurs in 35 of the countries competing in the games. Tom posted a photo recently on his Instagram account of him and six other LGBTQ plus activists saying, quote, in over half of the Commonwealth countries, homosexuality is still a crime, and in three of those countries, the maximum penalty is the death sentence. These laws are a legacy of colonialism. This opening ceremony for us is about showing LGBTQ plus visibility to the billions of people watching. Commonwealth Games Federation Chief Executive Katie Sadler told the Associated Press, we have been working with Tom and we have been working with a wider group. You will see pride flags in Birmingham. This is a city that absolutely embraces pride and pride messaging. And it's definitely something that we're working in close cooperation with Tom Daly on. However, Daly himself actually will, despite being at the opening ceremony, he will not be competing in the games this year. Because last month he did an interview with BBC where he said, I've experienced homophobia all my life, competing in countries where it's illegal to be me and where I don't feel safe to leave the venue I'm competing in. So this just shows that, it's there's still so many countries where, homosexuality is still criminalized. It's like still like you could still die in it. The death penalty is still very much a thing for homosexual people in certain countries, and even still to this day.
Yeah, it's certainly wild, and it's nice to see people that in positions. What am I trying to say? Not just positions of power, but like positions of influence.
But they have
Because
a
I feel like
they have a platform,
yeah,
and they're
standing up for that
using
kind of
it.
stuff.
Yeah, they're using it for good.
Also, it's nice that because part of me is expecting that the what is it called, the British National
the
Open or whatever,
the Commonwealth Games.
the Commonwealth Games, that they're not being like they're like kind of letting him do his thing. It seems like they're like
Yeah,
saying, yeah, cool,
they're not pushing back on it.
which is
Yeah.
nice, is nice
Hmm.
because you know how I feel
Definitely.
about the British. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. It's a known fact on this podcast that Josh is not the biggest fan
I hate
of
the
the
British
Brits.
and I hate the Twinks.
And when British twinks get together,
Ugh.
it's over.
It's over. It's over for
It
these hoes.
is on site with you, Charlie Spring.
Certainly fucking is.
All
Anyways,
you all you Heartstopper motherfuckers.
bitch, I'll be stopping your hearts. Anyways,
I love Heartstopper though, so I'm just anyway, continue.
this past Saturday was Berlin's annual Christopher Street Day celebration. It is a
Ooh.
celebration of the Stonewall riots that happened here in the United States and happened on, I guess, Christopher Street.
Oh.
Happened, I think, last Saturday, the 27th, and is functionally Berlin Pride. The celebration and march amassed around 150 attendees, according to ABC News. with the theme of United in Love this year. In 2020,
Hey,
it was canceled, and the year before, it was severely restricted because of COVID. So this is
mm,
like the biggest
they've the one that
turning
they've
that
had.
they've
Yeah,
in recent memory. So it's
because
nice to see.
yeah.
Don't know why you guys are doing it a month late.
Well,
But hey,
it's.
I tried to look
I
it up and I
mean,
couldn't figure it out.
there's well, because there's. I've seen some stuff recently where Pride events are still happening, even like outside of the month of June.
Did
Like,
y'all not get the memo? It's illegal again. You can't do that.
I saw a couple weeks ago, a friend of mine, them and their girlfriend went to a Pride event. I can't remember where specifically, but them and their girlfriend, they went to a Pride event, and this was only like 2 weeks ago, I think. And so, it was in the month of July, which, hello, it is illegal to be
To be gay.
gay. So, but we stand rebellion here on this podcast.
Absolutely. And Berlin's
So,
like, I'm pretty sure like the gays there are wild.
are they really?
I don't know. I think so.
Oh, okay.
I've heard from somewhere recently that like, oh yeah, the Berlin gays are like they party.
Okay. I don't know much about um
Me neither,
I don't
honestly.
yeah, I don't know much about like German pride or like, what it's like over there.
I have no clue. I mean, me neither. I do want to go to Italy sometime soon
Mm.
in the next 2 years. So
I
I need to
went
figure out how
yeah,
gay the Italy's are.
I've only been to Italy once.
You've been to
Um
Italy?
I have. I went back when back before my parents divorced.
Ooh,
Um back when my parents were still together, we went on a family trip to Italy. We went to Rome, Tuscany, and the Amalfi Coast in a little seaside town called Positano, which
I want to go to Positano so badly.
it's one of it. I need to go back there at some point because it genuinely is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. It like
Positano.
the
That's
food there was top notch. I had like fresh squid ink pasta. Like,
ooh.
have you seen the pasta that's like they make it that like half the noodle is like one side of the pasta noodle is dyed black with the squid ink, and then the other half is just like white with like regular pasta. I don't know how
I've
they
never seen
do
that.
it.
No.
It was so good. It was so, but like, so my dad has a cousin who lives in Rome, actually.
Hmm.
So we were able to like, go visit all that stuff. But yeah, I would love to go back to Italy at some point, and especially Positano, because it was one of the best like vacations of my life, and I cannot wait to go back there. But anyway, speaking of Rome, Italy.
Positano.
Speaking of what's that? What's the that thing in Rome? The
The
gladiators?
Leaning Tower of Pisa, the
No.
Colosseum,
The Colosseum. Thank you.
Eiffel
Speaking of
Tower.
speaking of the Great Wall of China, let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
And we're back. And now, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, it's time to go over what happened this week. All right, first up, we officially have the 12 queens who will be competing on the very first season of Drag Race Philippines. This week, we finally got not only the trailer so we can get our first look at the season, but we finally have all the queens that will be competing on this season, and it is very exciting. Like I said last week, this season's judging panel is going to be consisting of U.S. Drag Race alum Jiggly Caliente, popular Filipino writer, TV personality, and activist Kalad Karen, alongside host Paulo Ballesteros. The 10-episode series is set to premiere exclusively on WoW Presents Plus in the United States on August 17th, with new episodes premiering every Wednesday. So don't forget to go check out Season 1 of Drag Race Philippines, premiering on August 17th on WoW Presents Plus. Next up, a new Star Wars book was entitled Padawan, was released this Tuesday, July 26th, about Obi-Wan Kenobi as a young adult while apprenticing under Qui-Gon Jinn. And some people think that the writer, Kristen White, may have alluded to the fact that Obi-Wan might be bisexual or aromantic. Ooh. So the line in question that has everyone talking is when Obi-Wan is responding to a comment made by Jedi Kazul, where Kazul is kind of like hitting on him at first, and he's kind of talking about how love may not really be in the cards for him, as long as he can just, keep his family safe. But then he makes a comment saying how if Obi-Wan is ever curious about kissing him, he should let him know. To which Obi-Wan replies, I'll let you know. I mean, not that I will do that right now with you or anyone. The passage goes on to say he, quote, couldn't imagine just kissing any of them, and suggesting an inability to tell the difference between wanting to kiss someone and wanting to be like them. So, what do y'all think? Is Obi-Wan Kenobi the new bisexual or aromantic Jedi that we... I guess I shouldn't say new, because he's been around forever, but...
Hey, is it like fucking and kissing illegal in the Jedi?
I don't know. Actually.
I think it is.
It's probably. Who knows? But anyway.
It's supposed to have like attachments and stuff.
Yeah. So recently, JoJo Siwa called out Full House star and notorious conservative anti-vaxxer and former Hallmark star Candace Cameron Bure in a recent TikTok trend. So basically what happened was JoJo was doing that trend that's been going around where you extremely fast flip your phone camera like forward and backwards, and it's answering questions like, who's the coolest celebrity I've ever met? Who's the nicest? Who's the weirdest? And then when it came time for who was the rudest celebrity, JoJo, she flipped her phone very slowly. And it was pretty clear that the picture on her phone was Candace Cameron Bure. And people were living. Now, apparently the drama in question goes back to a situation when JoJo and Candace both appeared on an episode of The Kelly Clarkson Show. During the clips, JoJo and Candace were nothing but cordial with each other. In fact, JoJo even gave Candace one of those bows that she's so famously known for. It was a little Christmas bow. But according to reports, somewhere backstage, a very rude interaction took place between the two. Now, it could also just be the fact that Candace is, she's notoriously very Trumpy, very Christian, very conservative, and is, very much not, she's never openly said that she's not a fan of the gays, but it was actually, I remember I heard recently that she is leaving the Hallmark channel because Hallmark has recently been kind of making an effort to expand their programming with a little bit more LGBTQ plus representation. And not long after that, Candace made it quite clear that she was splitting ways with Hallmark. I believe it was due to creative differences.
Oh, sure.
That's
what it is.
Yeah, creative differences. So, who knows? But Next up, Euphoria actress Sydney Sweeney recently did an interview with The Hollywood Reporter in which she says, despite being on some of HBO Max's most successful shows, like Euphoria and The White Lotus, and she's currently this like new Hollywood it girl, she physically cannot afford to take a 6-month break from acting, claiming that, quote, they don't pay actors like they used to. During her interview, she said how, as an actor, you no longer get residuals. She also has to give 5% of what she makes to her lawyer, 10% to her agents, and 3% to her business manager. She also has to pay her publicist every month, which is more than her mortgage, apparently. And this is part of the reason that she's been doing a ton of brand deals recently, because Sydney's been getting some criticism about how she keeps taking like all these brand deals from like places, and she's like ruining her reputation by doing all this. But a lot of people are thinking this is the reason why, because she like can't afford to take time off from acting, because they just don't pay actors like they used to. And she even said in the interview, if I just acted, I wouldn't be able to afford my life in LA. I take deals because I have to. Last but not least, as we know, this week, one of the biggest news stories, Beyonce has finally released her new album, Renaissance, and this will mark 6 years since Beyonce's last solo album, Lemonade, because she has put music out since Lemonade, but all of it's kind of been like collaboration style albums. And this one will be like her first solo album again as Beyonce, and a lot of people are obsessed with it. But anyway, this Thursday the 28th, she posted a special message to her website giving thanks to some of her family members who helped influence the album, and the biggest one was her late uncle Johnny. Now Johnny is apparently Tina, Beyonce's mom, Tina's nephew, but growing up, Beyonce and Solange referred to him as Uncle Johnny. In the message, B said, "He was my godmother and the first person to expose me to a lot of the music and culture that serve as an inspiration for this album. Thank you to all the pioneers who originate culture, to all of the fallen angels whose contributions have gone unrecognized for far too long. This is a celebration for you." So go stream Renaissance by Beyonce.
Of course. If you haven't already.
If you haven't already, which, girl.
If you have, do it again.
And speaking of Beyonce, let's take a break.
And we're back with another, actually no, this is, again, something we haven't actually done before.
But
I would say, well, no, it's not really the Power Rainbow Rangers either. I would say, you know what, this is just new territory. We haven't made a name for it. I'm gonna try to make up a name right now. Something with movie cinematography.
Something about that. Well, anyway, while Josh
yeah, sorry.
Okay. What do you got?
I didn't actually introduce the nothing. I don't have anything. I just didn't introduce what we're actually doing. We're gonna talk about some of the gayest horror movies, because the gays love the horror movies. Gays love horror, and horror and the gays have been in horror for a very long time. And we're gonna
the inspiration for this came to me because this week, the first 3 episodes of Pretty Little Liars Original Sin dropped on HBO Max, and a lot of people are saying that this new Pretty Little Liars is looking to be a lot grittier and a lot more like horror based than the original Pretty Little Liars. Because if you were a fan of the OG PLL, you'll know that as the seasons went along, things did get a little bit darker, like the Dollhouse episode. Oh my god, don't even get me started. But with this new PLL, it's looking like it's a lot like the new A is like a lot more like a serial killer. Like
Oh yeah.
he's very reminiscent, I think, of Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But anyway, because of this new generation of horror, we decided to get into some of the gayest horror movies of all time because us gays, we really just love to be scared to death.
We
And
do, and apparently also we love to be moidled in
it's
these movies.
apparently we do. Apparently we
Apparently.
do. Yeah. But so first first up on my list, this one wasn't at first considered like a gay horror movie
Mm-hmm.
until we have Netflix to thank for this. Back in 2016, Netflix accidentally fucked up and added their movie, The Babadook, which is kind of like a take on the Boogeyman, I think. Um, they added it to the LGBTQ plus section of Netflix instead of the horror section of
Mm-hmm.
Netflix by mistake. But because of that, all the gays just took it and ran with it. And then the Babadook just became this like gay like horror icon. And if y'all remember, he was like such a huge meme for just such a long time. And it was so funny. And I just it,
I don't really understand like what the why the Babadook. We just picked it, but I do remember like all
we
the
kind of
memes
just
of like
claimed it.
we just claimed
Yeah.
it,
I think it
and
was literally just the thing of like we're claiming this as our own.
we just took it. We just took
Hmm.
it. I remember
Oh yeah.
because of like the Babadook making an entrance on Drag Race, and like just doing gay shit like the Babadook
Oh,
at Pride. It's
oh, absolutely.
truly insane. Another movie that's out there that this isn't really gay, but I think the gays love it, and I think it just has some Queenie vibes, if that makes any sense.
Hmm.
And the first movie I'll talk about is Midsummer, because first and
Hey,
foremost, uh, it's like more of a thriller than a horror, but
yeah,
it definitely has like some gruesome stuff going on.
yeah, and
It's also
and
like, go ahead.
Florence Pugh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce her name, but that's how I say it.
Yep.
Florence Pugh. She a lot of the gays know her for being playing Yelena Romanoff, aka Black Widow's sister
Mm-hmm.
in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Ooh, girl,
And she's just amazing. So
she is.
I just love Florence. So
Florence is an icon. I
that
think
was enough for me.
for you, you're like, yep, I'll take it. Um, I think too, it's also like pretty much a breakup movie,
You
and
think
it
so?
really, oh, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. I've done a lot of like reading about this movie.
Oh, oh,
Basically, it's about her like coming to terms with the fact that like her and her boyfriend are like no longer
mm,
compatible, and that she needs to let him go,
yeah.
and so she burns him alive in a bear suit, which is the kind of queen psychotic behavior that the gays love.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And also like that flower gown she wears.
Oh, that's gay as hell.
Okay, so and like the
That is
high camp, like because at the end, spoiler warning, at the end of the movie, she gets in this flower gown, and part of like the Holga or like Horga, I think is the name of the Swedish commune that they live in, or something like that.
yeah.
Uh, like if someone's like feeling a bad emotion, you like project it back to them, and it's this campy thing where like the guy's screaming because he's burning alive in a bear
Yeah.
suit, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone else is like screaming back at him, and it's just like this chaos just ensues. It's iconic and
Oh, fully
beautiful, a
love.
classic fuck him, dump him kind of
Yeah.
vibe.
And kind of going off that, yet another one that's like not necessarily gay, but definitely has some fruity elements to it.
Mm.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge.
Mm.
Now, there aren't any like openly queer characters in the movie. However, this movie is gay as hell. There
Oh
are
yeah.
scenes in leather bars. There's some scenes in like sweaty men's locker rooms. And
Ooh.
then there's also a scene where a bunch of like shirtless, sweaty men are just being chased by Freddy. Freddy and his, perfectly manicured talons
Pause.
as his claws. Yeah. And it just that movie's just and Freddy Krueger in and of himself, I think, is just such like you can say what you want about him, but Freddy Krueger, I think, is you got to be at least a little bit fruity with claws like that.
I'm pretty sure that the actor and like the main character, the
Mm-hmm.
actor, I'm pretty sure he was gay.
Oh, was he really?
Hey, wait.
I did not know this.
I'll look into it later. I'll watch a 5 minute YouTube video about it.
Okay.
But that may or may not be true. Another movie I want to talk about is It.
Oh yeah.
Specifically It Part Two.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Boom Bang Bitch the sequel.
The Electric Boogaloo. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So part of it, one part of it is that the movie itself, there's the opening scene where the gay couple gets harassed and murdered by like these fucking monsters.
Yes.
And It comes and like murks the other guy, and it's like
Yeah.
really tragic.
Yeah.
And also one of the main characters, Richie, is gay, and part of his like fear that It is like feasting off of is that he's closeted and that
Mm-hmm.
he's afraid of people finding out.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely tackles like, kind of in the same vein as like Nightmare on Elm Street is like this like kind of gay fear.
Oh
Uh
yeah.
and but I'll say also also at the same time and kind of more importantly, gay people love to like especially like drag queens love to dress up as It.
Oh,
Yes,
Pennywise
a Pennywise. Oh,
is
Pennywise, yeah, that's
there's a in an episode of I remember once Trixie was talking about like she said something like remember how Stephen King's It was supposed to be a horror?
yeah.
It's about a clown
With
putting
big
on makeup with big shoes who hates children. He's a
That's a
hero.
hero.
Yeah.
Honestly. And there's also that you've seen that I think it's a TikTok of like the T.S. Madison putting on that wig. He's like, I
Yeah.
feel like
I
Puerto
feel
Rican.
Puerto Rican in this hat. I feel Puerto Rican.
And there's that the person just It doing that like lip syncing that. And it's just
Oh my
so
god.
iconic.
There and also fun fact, there's this guy. So if you've seen the first It,
Hmm.
do you remember that bully who terrorized like the chubby kid
Yeah.
who like full on like carved his initials into the kid's stomach?
Yes.
Um, the
Insane.
the actor who plays him, Nicholas Hamilton, he himself is actually gay, and if you
Work.
look him up on TikTok, he's actually kind of taken a little bit of a turn from acting. I think. Well, the,
Kind of turn.
Jo- Josh just gave me like the widest eye look. Um, so he is no longer. Well, it's not that he's no longer doing acting, but he he has started doing like bartending. Like he's started getting into like bartending and like
Hmm.
making cocktails. And if you follow him, I follow him on TikTok, and all of his videos now are about like him mixing like different drinks and like making all these fun cocktails. And now he's like a part of like the bartending community on TikTok. And he actually got to go on one of the floats during New York City Pride this year.
Oh, for like one of the
Yeah, on one of the floats, he got to ride with Michael Camino, who
Oh,
is who's from Love Victor. But yeah,
wonderful.
he's like a bartender now, and it's actually really cool. If you I
Send it to me. I want to
Yeah,
see.
go follow Nicholas Hamilton on TikTok. He's actually he's not like incredibly fruity about it. Um,
Oh,
but
I like to disengage from this then.
no, no, but he's like he is open about the fact that he has a boyfriend, and during Pride he did like a video where he was like, a lot of you people out there have been asking me to do some kind of like a fruity drink for Pride Month, and I feel like I should take part in this because I myself am fruity.
Ooh.
And I was like, hey,
Hey, how y'all doing?
how y'all doing? Okay. Um, we are starting to run out of time, so we're gonna do these last two quickly.
Okay.
um, Last one that I have, an iconic gay horror movie,
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer's Body.
Oh yeah.
Megan Fox playing, she gets possessed by a succubus who seduces men and then like devours them. And then there's like that kiss with her and Amanda Seyfried,
Mm-hmm.
who is she was Karen Smith in Mean Girls. But just the kiss between the two, and then just Megan Fox in general, like how could you not love her?
Also a gay icon.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer's Body is just such like an iconic gay horror movie, and you gotta, it's just a cult classic at this point, so you gotta watch it if you haven't already, which
Mm.
if you haven't, what are you doing?
Excuse me. Oh my god. And the last
Get
movie we're
it
gonna talk about is
get it together.
Get It Together. Um, They Slash Them. It's about it's a take on like kind of how people. It's a play on how people like present their pronouns. It's like they them, they slash them.
Hmm.
Uh, Very cool. It also takes place at a gay conversion therapy camp.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
and
I did not know this.
hacking and slashing ensues. Apparently, it's gonna be a
Oh wow.
documentary.
Okay.
I believe it is coming out on the 5th.
Oh, fierce. All
So
right.
check it out.
Well, check
Apparently,
out
it's
They
gonna
Slash
be
Them.
check it the fuck out.
And speaking of days and thems,
Let's take a break.
let's do it. And we're back. And now we we finally officially have a queen of all queens.
Spoilers, 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 spoilers.
Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. So, okay.
It's been
Re-
a few days. If you, but and by the time this comes
but
out, if you don't,
yeah, by the time this airs, if you don't already know who won, that's on you.
yeah,
But so we officially, Drag Race All Stars 7 has come to a close, and officially we have a queen of all queens. And spoiler alert, it's Jinx Monsoon. Um,
congratulations.
very so. How are we feeling? How
I
are
mean, I'm
we
not mad.
feeling?
I'm
Okay. Oh,
sorry. The
Josh's
Jinx
mic
stands put a curse on me
curse
because I,
on your
yeah,
microphone. Yeah,
yeah. I'm feeling, I feel good about it. Now that I've had a few days to like
process.
be angry and pissed, yeah,
Because
because
you were Team Monet.
I was Team Monet from the jump. I was Team Macaroni X Cheese. I've been a sibling for a few years now on the podcast. So
Hmm.
I was really gunning for Monet, and I think the way just in the aftermath of the lip sync,
Yeah. See,
Monet ate Jinx up so badly, and they cut out so much of Monet's performance.
I here's the thing. I love me some Jinx Monsoon. I love Jinx. I think she's a fantastic queen. I'm very happy for her that she won. I think because I know Rue went based off of like her, like, the entire
The lip
performance.
sync and the track
No,
record, yeah,
yeah.
whatever.
So I get that, but if we were just looking at the lip sync, Monet, she ate.
Demolished Jinx.
I I
She was
love
so
I
good.
love Jinx Monsoon, but Monet tore
Well, here's the two
Jinx
things.
apart.
I don't know why. This all it boils down to, like, to me at least.
Yeah.
Again, I don't no hate to Jinx. I think it really boils down to this last episode is poorly produced. Because
You
if they
think
wanted
so?
Jinx to win, they should not have picked Swish Swish. They should have done some like Broadway,
Do
old
yeah,
Hollywood.
some Ethel Merman type shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, do like a Kristen Chenoweth actually no, Kristen Chenoweth, she's a little bit too. I feel like, I mean, not that Jinx couldn't do a Kristen Chenoweth number, but Kristen Chenoweth is very like she's very bubbly, she's Kristen Chenoweth.
Well,
And Jinx is a lot more of like a kind of a Ethel Merman, um, uh, not Judy Garland,
Judy
uh,
Garland.
yeah. Oh, actually, yeah.
Yeah, Judy
No,
Garland.
literally Judy Garland. I was thinking of fuck, the "Don't fuck with me, fellas." Who am I thinking
Oh,
of?
Joan Crawford.
Thank you, Joan Crawford. Yeah, thank you. Um, yeah, Joan Crawford. Like she gives off very that kind of vibe.
And I don't know why they didn't. Here's the thing too: they've switched out lip syncs in her favor in
Yeah.
the past. They could just
Also,
do it. And like
I
they cut out like this part where like Monet had like lipsticks with like Shay and Trinity's name and Jinx's
oh, did
name.
she actually?
Oh yeah, like and like again like all love to Monet, and I think Monet
Yeah,
deserves the entire universe.
yeah.
Um, but like what was I trying to say? Uh,
That they
they
cut
just did
out.
her so dirty
Yeah,
for this last. Like people are out to be like release the Monet cut, release like the part where like
yeah.
they it's just such a concerted effort by the production to like edit out like the good parts.
Because they wanted Jinx to win. I feel like.
Yeah, that's fine. And that's fine if they want to crown Jinx.
Yeah, which
That's on them. They just did not
yeah,
produce the episode well.
which again, I'm very happy for Jinx. And
Hmm.
I when before the finale. Oh, excuse me. Before the finale, I was team Jinx Monsoon, and I was
Hmm.
also team Shea Coulee, which, by the fucking
I have a
way,
bone to pick with how they did Shadis
I
dirty.
oh my god, Shea Coulee. First off, she
Killed
did
the
not
Judas choreography.
just I even before the Judas choreo, which I'll get to that in a second.
Hmm.
I genuinely don't think she got enough credit for the outfits that she pulled off this season
Oh
because
yeah,
she ate those girls
up.
to death. I'm even some of her more like quote unquote, I don't want to say simple, but like not as huge and grand and big. Like
Hmm.
her sunflower runway that
Oh,
she
that was
did, that was
beautiful,
so it was, it wasn't
iconic.
as like big and crazy as like Evie's, mushroom kind of
Yeah, or
dress.
like Trinity's Vegas like
Yeah,
show.
which I didn't like, but whatever. Um
Drag her.
I didn't I'm going to be honest, I didn't like Trinity's runway for that one, but anyway, that's not the point. Um Shay didn't I genuinely feel like Shay did not get enough credit for the runways that she produced this season because there were so many that just this is Shea Coulee is top tier drag.
She is, and something I was thinking about too is another way that this I think this season is good to watch as it's happening, but it'll be hard to go back to because there's no really like, they tried to give Shay this like underdog edit,
Yeah.
but there's really like little build up and little payoff,
Yeah, it's I don't it
which is
definitely.
why that's why the good vibes only of the season like kind of
Yeah, because this was supposed to be because apparently I've seen a lot of clips about how they apparently the judges did give negative critiques to the girls like
hmm.
during the runways. They just decided to cut all of it because this season was just, good vibes only, love and happiness, all that. And
I gotta say, this season got a little boring after a while to me.
yeah,
Like it
it,
was fun. It was always fun, but
it
it was like
I think because I think that was, it was meant to be just like a fun season. because
Mm-hmm.
none of the girls went home,
Other girls went
and
home. No one,
it just
yeah.
was, yeah. So it just was, it was meant to be just like good vibes only. But anyway, back to Shea Coulee.
Yes.
Um, she, I don't know. Again, incredibly happy for Jinx,
Mm-hmm.
but Shay had that Judas choreography down. She knew every step, every beat, every fucking like leg move, arm move, everything she knew. And it was so I as soon as they got to like the chorus and I saw her start doing the movements, I was like, "Oh my god!"
She's doing it. And again, the editing, they edited out her doing like so much.
Yeah, and they just like focused on Jinx, like because I feel
Kind of
like she kind of
running
just it
around.
was yeah, it was a lot of twirling. It was a
The
lot of
twirling was nice.
twirling. Yeah, but I
That's true. And here's the thing too, she like did a reveal into like a corset and a grandma underwear. It's just like
I
took off that like she like opened up the robe. I was like,
yeah,
that's what you
and
want to show us?
also, can we talk about the leopard print um number for
Oh,
Jinx's final lip sync with Monet? That
disgusting.
I was because so I was expecting I when she first walked out, I was like, oh, she's wearing some like weird leopard print like dress.
Cool.
But surprise, it wasn't a dress. It was like a pantsuit with almost like a cape.
Yeah, is that the
That
reveal that
like
pants?
was that like
You
supposed to be the
revealing
big,
pants?
yeah, was revealing the fact that it was more of a jumpsuit than anything else. And
Like,
I'm like, what?
and then
Like,
Monet. The thing is like that. It's just low key, kind of like not the best outfit Jinx has ever worn. And then
no.
Monet not only beat a lip sync, Monet looked stunning,
Oh,
stunning,
she looked so
gorgeous.
good. She looked so good. The outfit, both outfits were fantastic.
Ugh, ugh.
Um,
Also, I don't want to overshadow totally the queen of she done already been done had hers is
oh yes,
Princess
Miss
Raja,
Raja, Miss Raja. She,
which
I mean,
I don't think she beat Evie in that lip sync. I think Evie ate
I
her
think
up.
all the girls did a great job in whether it was the She Done Already Done Had Hers or
Oh, but
the Queen of All Queen. I honestly think all
that
the girls did a great job
oh, see,
because
you must be one of the judges this season. No bad vibes, good vibes
no,
only.
well, no, I have some negative critiques, but I I liked Viv's lip sync.
Oh yeah, I think
I
Viv.
enjoyed I
I
enjoyed her lip
really
sync.
Viv won me over this season. I
Oh,
really enjoy her.
absolutely. I like yet again, I think oh god, what was it? It was one of the challenges that I think it should top two should have been like Viv and somebody. I think it was like Viv and Jinx should have won. I can't remember which challenge it was, but I was like very hard pressed on the fact that the top two. It was like I think the top two was like
Oh,
it was either like Raja and Jinx or like somebody I don't know, but um it, I feel
I,
like Viv should have gotten a little bit more like recognition.
she should have. And the thing too that about Vivian, I think they built the storyline of Vivian versus Jinx, and
Hmm.
then just kind of threw it away. It went
Like
nowhere.
every for a while it was so just like this bitch blocked me. Now I'm gonna block this bitch. Oh, I hate
Ooh.
her. And
And
then
then,
I think after like Viv got blocked for like the second, or Jinx got blocked for like the second time or whatever.
mhm,
They just were like, whatever.
whatever. Yeah, like okay,
And
that's
then
fine.
it was back to like warm fuzzies.
Warm and fuzzies. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, and also like I loved Evie's wig reveal. It was
That was so
ridiculous.
clever. That
I
was
loved it.
clever. She got me. She
She
got
got me
me.
too.
Because I at first I was like, oh no, not in the finale lip sync. and then she snatched the wig cap off, and there was another wig, and I was
That was
like,
fun.
"Girl, she did. Evie did a great job. That was she got
Yeah,
me. She
she
got me,
got me.
gal. She got me, gal."
And I'm so mad because Evie was gonna post, dick pics if she won any money this season, and she did it, and now I'm mad.
I know we could have seen Evie Oddly's massive schlong.
Infamous, yeah, infamous.
Yeah, the one that Jinx so kindly tore to shreds during the roast challenge. Evie Oddly's dick is so big that when I was doing a line of coke off of it, I had time to stop and think, I've become my
My
mother.
mother. That's a
That
good
was
jinx.
that was very clever. Oh, but anyway, speaking of massive dicks, let's take a break.
Take a break. And we're back, but not for long because it is time to end the show. Everybody say "aw."
Aww.
Yeah. Ooh, but you know what? Don't frown because it is over. Smile because it
Smile
happened.
because it's true. And before we go, I would just like to give a quick shout out to Naomi Smalls for, if y'all haven't seen, there's a video going around Twitter of at the Roscoe's
Yeah,
viewing
Roscoe's
party.
viewing party.
Yeah, Roscoe's in Chicago. They do like a viewing party for every episode of Drag Race, and there's a clip going around of this. I guess this week for the finale, they had Naomi Smalls was one of the queens that they
It was
had.
Trinity, Naomi, and Laganja, I think.
Yeah, and when they announced Jinx as the winner, the look on Naomi's face was fucking
And this like
priceless.
slow clap she does,
She
it's
was
not you.
not amused at all. She just was like, "Oh, okay. I guess. Yeah, sure.
I guess this is happening.
Yeah." And I'm like,
Let's
"Oh
see what
my
the
God."
audience thinks.
God, okay. Oh, anyway, speaking of Naomi Smalls, you can subscribe to rate and review the latest and the gayest on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Radio Public. And don't forget to follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at TLATG Pod to stay up to date on all things the latest and the gayest. And also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can find all past and present episodes of the latest and the gayest available for free. And this episode will be available on our YouTube channel next week following the brand new episode. And also, please check out our link tree, which can be found in the bio of all of our social medias, to not only find all of our social media links and where you can listen to the show, but you can also find some links and resources on great abortion funds that you can donate to, the Center for Reproductive Rights, some amazing charities and organizations that we have linked, some resources for Ukraine relief funds and for the families of the Ulvade shooting. And there's just a lot of great stuff. So go check it out. But with that, thank you for joining us. And what does the audience think?
Let's see what the audience
Let's
thinks.
see what the audience
Oh,
thinks.
that is he ate that entire plate of food, and she's like, "I was bad." And she's like, "I can't."
But
Uh, uh,
let's see what the audience thinks.
let's see what the audience think. Drag
But
iconic behavior.
if you know, you know.
If you know,
If you,
yeah,
if you know, you know. But
if you
you
know,
know,
you know.
but you know. Speaking of things that you know, you know.
Bye.
Bye.